Hello everyone and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And let's see what's on the hook. I have several things on the hook that I want to talk about, and also a yarn haul, a finished object, and some other things. So this is just kind of a gathering of different ideas and things that are going on at On the Hook. So I'm doing this in the middle of the week, and then on Friday I'll be back with the Happy Monday gift recipients. I call y'all that. So let's get started. Today I wanted to talk about, well, first of all, let me tell you what I have on. And if you've been watching my videos at all, you would know that I absolutely love this scarf. This was sent to us by Knit Crate for a monthly subscription back in March of this year, 2019. And this is the front of the magazine that came with it. It's the Inspirations Pattern Book for March 2019. And the crochet pattern was the Solonel. I'm not going to compromise it by showing the pattern itself, but here's a nice girl wearing the scarf, and it's called the Solonel. And I was so enamored with this scarf, I made it pretty much exactly like it was. I did run out of yarn, so I didn't finish it the last couple rows, but I did put the actual edging on it. But let me show this to you. I've shown it several times, but I want to see if y'all remember it, and some of you new subscribers probably don't know about it yet, but this was made with the Knit Crate yarn that came in the box, and it's called Knitology. This is Knitology. I think this is still available. I don't know for sure, but I think it's still out there. This is Titmouse is the color. It is that it's 75% wool, merino wool, 15% silk, and 10% cashmere. Cashmere is a favorite of mine. I made a sweater out of part cashmere, and I'm going to release that pattern on Saturday. Cashmere, there's just nothing like it. It's just a wonderful, wonderful yarn. And this is the colorway of this yarn. It has the prettiest colors, and it is not stripy, as you can see. It is not stripy at all. The colors just appear and disappear, and the colors they selected are so gorgeous. I wear this all the time. Now, this summer I haven't worn it all that much. This is a 3/4 arm length t-shirt, and it's very, very light. It's very, very light, so I can wear it in this kind of weather that we're having now in the 80s here. And the scarf is just gorgeous. I love it, love it, love it. And let me show it to you. It is not shaped in a regular triangle. It's in an asymmetrical triangle. So the biggest part is down at one end, and then it goes over this way and gets tiny, tiny, tiny at the very end. And what I do sometimes is I'll tie this in a knot if it's hanging down too low, and it gives it a little bit of interest. So I just wanted to bring this to you because it is so gorgeous. And it's not because of my skill that it's gorgeous. It's just a really nice pattern. I really like the pattern. Well, I have it on here a different way. But anyway, this is the way I usually wear it. And if this turns out kind of long, which it actually did this time, I'll tie it in a knot. And there's what it looks like in a little knot. So it looks a little bit more even here than hanging way down here. But anyway, I really, really, really love this scarf. And I know y'all can't tell. So I wanted to bring that to you as what I'm wearing today, and let's move on. Okay, so right now I have just finished another scarf called the Marley Wrap, and this is by Sarah of Little Haven Crochet. The Marley Wrap, very cute, and on Monday we'll be doing something special with this. But I wanted to show it to you because I wanted to make this up before I did anything with it on a Happy Monday. So I wanted to make this up and show it to you, and then on Monday we'll do something fun with it. So right now this is what it looks like. This is not right now, it's all done. This is the Marley Wrap. Look at the details, very beautiful. It's got rows of crisscross stitches, single crochets. And I did a couple things different on it. I hope Sarah doesn't mind. I always change up my patterns, and I'm not a big, huge scarf lover. I don't like big, long scarves. And this is about as big as I ever want to make them, right here. so that I can wear a jacket over it or have it fit me and not have to be wrapping it around my head all the time. So not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just the way I like to do things. So what I also like to do is put an edging along the top of the scarf. And all I did was just a row of lace across the top instead of it just being where the scarf started. And then I put buttons on the end. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with the buttons. Okay, so here I am in my brand new Marley Wrap scarf, and I really, really like it. It's not a huge wrap, and if I had made it the way that Sarah said in the instructions, I would have done 41 rows. But as it was, I stopped right at about row 18 or 19. I didn't do it very far. But when I got it as big as I wanted it, that's how big I wanted it. And you, of course, could make it as long as you want to, but I stopped there. And I like to wear my scarves turned over with a little bit of a collar. That's just how I like to wear them. And I put buttons at the end so that I could wear this in the front, very cute, not in my way, or I could turn it around and wear it the way I do some other scarves, like this. And then I don't have to be tying it, messing around with the ends of it, or no ends under there. See, it just hangs from the buttons. And you can wear a jacket with this, and it'd be very, very comfortable in the back because there wouldn't be a lot of fabric back there. It would all be in the front, and you could let this make a nice statement in the front, or when you don't have your jacket on, you could turn it around and wear it this way. So that's kind of my go-to way to make scarves anymore. And not all of them are like that. This one is not like that, the one I had on when I started the show. Really, going forward, that's how I like to do things because I like things that are buttoned up and that are in place and that don't require a lot of fidgeting with. Now, I made this from Textures, which is a yarn that is discontinued. I don't usually use yarn that's discontinued because if I run out, I won't have any way to order it. But I had 3 balls of this, and so I decided that I would make this up, and it took 1 ball to make it, and this is how much yarn I had left over. Almost none. A couple yards. So that's how much it took me to make this wrap. Now, if I made the wrap as directed in the pattern, I would probably need at least 2 balls. And maybe even 3. I had 3 balls, and that's why I selected that yarn. But when I started working with the pattern, I decided that I would just make it like I always do and put buttons on it so that it's easy to wear, it's versatile, and I don't have to keep fidgeting with it. So that's what I did. Now on Monday, something fun is going to happen with this, so stay tuned for that. We'll have a happy Monday, and we will talk about it again at that point. But right now, I'm just going to wear it and enjoy it because it is quite lovely. Let's see what this Textures is made of, actually. It's called Ocean Waves. Not that that matters because it's been discontinued. It's 149 yards on the skein, and it is 90% acrylic, 10% nylon. So that is why it's nice and squishy. It's very, very comfortable. And it's made in Turkey by a line brand called Textures. And beautiful boucle yarn. That's a yarn that has uneven pieces to it. A boucle yarn usually has a pretty big halo, but this one does not. It has almost no halo. It's very, very clean, very, very even. This is a boucle yarn by Buttercream, and it is Luxe Craft, L-U-X-E Craft, and it's a rainbow boucle, and this is what it looks like. And you can see that the yarn, that's 2 strands, excuse me. The yarn is not even, if you can see that. See it, watch it over my hand. It's not even, but it's still a boucle yarn, and this is an 8-ounce, 227 gram ball. It's huge. And one Christmas, I made several scarves out of different colors of these and gave them to my friends. And they turned out really pretty. It was a very, very simple pattern, but it didn't need to be complicated because this is not the easiest yarn to work with. Now the Textures yarn was very easy to work with because it is a yarn that is the same all the way through. See, It never changes. It's always the same. So it was very easy to work with. I could find my stitches on that. On this, I would never attempt a cross stitch row with this stuff because you can't find your stitches. But if you have a very simple pattern where you're just doing double crochets across or whatever, and if you miss a stitch, it's not a big deal. This is a really great yarn. Now, I did look it up, and I was looking for this particular one called Palomino. I was going to make something big out of it, but I changed my mind. I think that buttercream is still available, but only on eBay. I think that's the only place I could find any. But they didn't have the brown, so this is kind of a one of a kind. It's also been, I believe, discontinued. Could be because it's just hard to work with. It's sort of like homespun, but homespun has a big following and a lot of people love it, and I do too. I order it all the time for Christmas gifts because they're easy to make a scarf out of it, and they turn out really beautifully because there's so much interest in the yarn that you don't have to use a complicated pattern. So that's the key there. Now, I had been to my crochets meeting a couple days ago, and Becky had it at her house, my friend Becky, and she dyes yarn, and I can't resist when I go over there. I want to see what she's dyed. So I have quite a collection of her yarns, and I have made quite a few of them up. So I went a little bit nutty because she had been at a craft fair and had dyed up quite a bit of yarn. And I said, well, let me see your yarn. And she said, okay. And she showed it to me, and I was picking around in there, and I found four hanks of yarn that I really, really loved. And let me show you these. One of them, or actually two hanks, and she did cake them up for me, which was awesome, because otherwise I'd have to come home and just look at the hanks, and I probably wouldn't ball them up for a long time or cake them up. So she caked these up for me. One of them is Purple Haze. She names all of her yarns after songs. So this is Purple Haze. It is absolutely gorgeous. And those light colors in there are a light blue. They're very, very light blue. Somehow the camera is picking up, maybe they look a little bit white, but those are light blue, and it's a purple base. So, and it's very, very soft. This is a 75% merino, 25% nylon, 462 yards on the cake, 100 grams fingering weight. So I thought I would make a scarf out of that, and I'll have some left. And eventually I'm going to take all of these fingering weight and DK weight yarns and make something with them. I don't know what it'll be. But that's called Purple Haze. The second fingering wool was called Sunflower. And this is similar to another one that I bought from her, but it didn't have the green in it. But this is really pretty. I made my melon yellow shawlette. One of the colors was one similar to this. But this has some green in it. It's really pretty. Green, gold, and yellow. And a tiny bit of maybe almost white there. I'm not really sure if that's white, but really pretty. Several colors of yellow in there as well. And that is, again, 462 yards on the ball. And it's wool and nylon. 75-25. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Now, I bought look at my scarf here. Let's get it back here where it goes. I bought 2 hanks of DK weight that she also caked for me very graciously. This is 100% superwash merino wool, and this is called Riders on the Storm. And it is inspired by Becky's sister, who lives in Jacksonville, Florida, and when Hurricane Dorian came by, when Hurricane Dorian skipped Jacksonville but gave them a fit, she took a picture at sunset of the clouds, and these are the colors that were in the picture. And I'm going to put the picture in right here. So I just wanted you to see that. Inspired by the cloud formations near the hurricane. Really pretty. Really pretty. And then the fourth hank is also a bolero yarn. It's superwash merino, and it's a DK weight. I actually have started a scarf with this, and it's turning out very beautifully. Very beautifully. Look at the colors. They are just gorgeous. I love the way Becky dyes her yarn. And I always try to get as much of it as I can when I go over there. I'm making that with an eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. And it's the same pattern as I used for this scarf. And this pattern will be coming out next week. And it's called my Cotton Candy Scarf, and I'm writing up the pattern for it now, and I'll be putting that out in a week or two. This is made with Sugar Wheel Cotton by Yarn Bee, the yarn that Melody Crochet is her name of her channel. Her name's Melody. Melody gave me in a box that she sent me of Texas things. A lot of the different colors, but I am through with the scarf. It might be 80 inches long actually, with the edging on it that I crocheted. So that is the Cotton Candy Scarf, and that'll be coming out next week. But on Saturday I have a pattern release, so just wanted to remind you of that. Friday we have our recipients of the gifts, so I'll be videoing Friday as well. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and join me next time to find out what's on the hook.